Don't ever do me something, because on my mom, I'm going to do you something back. On my mother, I am going to get you. Don't ever come over here with no I'm going to get away scot-free energy. I don't even know Scott, but I'll get Scott surrounded today. Immediately. Arrington, that's wrong. Just let God handle it. God busy. I got this.
I see a lot of people talking about Rodney Hinton Jr.'s response to his son being shot at his mother. If you don't think like that man, if you wouldn't do what that man did, you shouldn't even have a mucking child. Because I'll be damned as a mother if I carry my son, the only baby I got, for 9 months, and got him to adulthood, and in a couple of motherfucking seconds, you think you're going to take him away from me like you gave him life, I will end your whole mother.
For people saying that the difference between, and therefore the reason why they support Luigi Mangione but not Rodney Hinton Jr. is because Luigi Mangione hit his intended mark, whereas Rodney Hinton Jr. hit an officer who was not the one who shot his son, that is a fairly hollow difference, because Luigi Mangione was not insured by United Healthcare. Whatever may have gone on with his back surgery years before had nothing to do with United Healthcare. Thompson had caused Mangione no direct personal harm, but the reason why Mangione picked Thompson as his mark is because he is symbolic of and part of a harmful system, similar to what Rodney Hinton Jr. did.
When it comes to this whole Rodney Hinton situation, I'm so tired of seeing police officers, especially black police officers, get on social media and try to save face right now. Like, please shut the... Don't nobody want to hear nothing I have to say. Sit back, be quiet, and learn from the community that you're supposed to be serving, bro. Because if y'all was doing your job, y'all wouldn't be in this situation in the fucking place. And it's good that y'all fearful, because police officers in this country have been walking around like they shit don't stink and they untouchable for too long. And now y'all know that ain't true. And to all the black police officers getting on here acting like you understand what the black community going through and you playing in our face and acting like you some magical catalyst for change amongst your department, stop it.
They're trying to intimidate Rodney Hinton because they know that as soon as it becomes an eye for an eye, they lose. They are so vastly outnumbered, it's not even funny. And that man did not let them intimidate him one damn bit. And as a father, I respect him so damn much.
Hey my people, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that from wherever you my lovelies are watching this from, you're doing alright, and God has protected you and preserved you very well. I do appreciate all of you that keep supporting. Thank you for the super thanks and super chats, and of course a big shout out to my members for supporting exclusively. We do have another interesting episode to dive into today, and today we are going to be looking at reactions of black people towards a father, Rodney Hinton. You must have stumbled on this case that ran into the police officer, because this police officer took the life of his son. He shot him in the back, and he accused the son of pointing a pew at him and also of having a stolen car. However, when the footage was retrieved of the cam, right, it showed that actually this son was shot in the back, and because of that, the father, the grieving father, Rodney Hinton, a black man, decided to take his revenge and went and ran over the police deputy in Cincinnati. And it looks like the palm-colored people are trying to label him as a bad person, as a criminal, when in actual sense, this man had no option but to do what he did, because any parent in their right mind, when someone takes your child's life, especially if you know the history of black people and how they never get justice, even in cases like this, they will rather plant fake evidence of a son having a pew when in actual sense he didn't have any, right? So this man decided to do this, and it looks like palm-colored people and the police is labeling him as a criminal. So black people have reactions, and a few palm-colored people as well that agree with the black people in here. We are going to look at that. We'll come back and talk about it. Credit goes to the creators that have their voices in here. We'll watch this, come back and talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're landing on here for your very first time, and let me know what you think. What would you do if you were in this position?
Don't ever do me something, because on my mom, I'm going to do you something back. On my mother, I am going to get you. Don't ever come over here with no I'm going to get away scot-free energy. I don't even know Scott, but I'll get Scott surrounded today. Immediately. Arrington, that's wrong. Just let God handle it. God busy. I got this. He said you reap what you sow, and on my soul, If you sow it here, you gonna reap it here. You ain't got to worry about God. God be taking his time. I'm on that time. Y'all be wanting to do stuff to people and then just get away with it. Who? I don't care how long it take for me to get you back. I don't care how, it ain't gonna take long for one, but it doesn't matter how long it takes. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna take you clean out of the sky when you least expect it. Cause me and all 7 to 8 of the people who live in my head, we never asked to be bothered. I never put in a request that said play with me. Now, to be honest, you're grown and you can do what you want to do. And if I'm on your list, if you want to come over here playing with me, I can't stop you. Come on. But when they go low, I don't go to hell. That ain't far enough. I'm going to show you why God gave Satan grace when he sent them there.
Yo, I don't know if y'all see a pattern with Carmelo Anthony, the young brother that stabbed the white boy that was bullying him, and now with Rodney, the gentleman that ran over the police officer who killed his son. Let me tell you something. Black people are done. We're tired. It's a wrap. The reason the police are coming down so hard on Carmelo Anthony and Rodney is because the police know what I have always known. When black people realize that we outnumber the police, when black people start thinking of this eye for an eye concept, when black people stop tolerating abusive, violent murders at the hands of the police, and we start doing that in large numbers, it is a wrap. It is a wrap. And so the police have to show this presence. They have to show this force because they got to send a message, and the message is fear. And if we are not afraid to fight back, if we are not afraid to say that you cannot kill us without a consequence, baby, the game is over. The game is over. Am I lying? Comment below. Let me know what you think.
I hate y'all, man. I really, really hate y'all. Because comments just like this one, all throughout my comment section, forced me to do something I really, really, really did not want to do, which was watch the footage of Rodney Hinton dying. And the reason I avoid stuff like this is because it makes me unreasonably angry. Like, I'm furious right now having seen that video. Like, if that was the video they showed his father, right before, you know, he went out and did what he did, I don't even blame bro for I don't condone what he did. But it's just like, I can only imagine if that was my son. Ooh, Lord Jesus. They shot that boy in the back while he was running away. Point blank, period. I watched it twice. And for those of y'all who want to sit there and, oh, no, he didn't, he was trying to shoot the cops, I will literally post a link to the videos that I saw, which break it down frame by frame from 2 different angles. They shot this kid in the back while he was running away. There was so much distance between him and the officer. And again, his back was turned. He was trying to get away. Now, should he have had a gun? No. Should he have been in a stolen car? No. Should he have been in that situation in the first place? No. But for the officer to sit there and say, well, he had a gun and he pointed it at me, that's false. The mere fact that the chief of police down there in Cincinnati are already making excuses talking about, well, the camera footage is blurry, but the officers interviewed said that he pointed a, come on, bro. It wasn't that blurry. That kid, at no point did that kid point a gun at the officer who discharged his weapon. It just didn't happen. And this is the problem I have with conversations surrounding this. This is why it's not even really worth anyone's time to really debate these topics, because one side looks at the individual who was no longer here as a criminal and nothing more. Like I said previously, that was somebody's son. I'm not condoning the situation he found himself in or the actions he took to land himself there, but they did not need to shoot him in the back. They didn't. Buddy was just tired of running and said, fuck all this, and popped his ass. That's what happened. And the reason I'm so irritated is because I hate watching these kind of videos, bro. I still to this day have never seen the video in which George Floyd was killed because I know it will make me irrationally upset. Because the thing y'all got to understand, it's so easy for y'all to see this type of shit, right? Because it'll never be you. It's very rarely you. It will never be your son, your father, your brother, your friends. It could always be me. I just made a video talking about how I got no criminal record. When has that ever stopped the police from popping somebody dead before? Botham Jean, they pulled up to that man's house and shot him dead in his own house. Amir Rice, 12-year-old little boy in Cleveland, Ohio, they popped that boy dead because he had a toy gun in his hand. Like, I understand trying to be objective and see both sides of things. But the mere fact that people can't even understand why black people and the minorities who have gone through this repeatedly are upset. It's because it's their brothers and sisters. It's their fathers, their mothers, their fucking children that are being gunned down. And whether they were right or wrong, the mere fact that you can't even empathize with, that's somebody's baby. That's what pisses everybody off so much. You just reduce them to a number, a statistic, a criminal.
When it comes to this whole Rodney Hinton situation, I'm so tired of seeing police officers, especially black police officers, get on social media and try to save face right now. Like, please shut the fuck up. Don't nobody want to hear nothing I have to say. Sit back, be quiet, and learn from the community that you're supposed to be serving, bro. Because if y'all was doing y'all job, y'all wouldn't be in this situation in the fucking first place. And it's good that y'all fearful, because police officers in this country have been walking around like they shit don't stink and they untouchable for too long. And now y'all know that shit ain't true. And to all the black police officers getting on here acting like you understand what the black community going through and you playing in our face and acting like you some magical catalyst for change amongst your department, stop it. The first black police officer was appointed in 1911 in New York City. We have had a black police officer throughout this country for over 100 fucking years, and not a goddamn thing has changed with how black people is policed and how the police engages with the black community, bro. So please miss me with that bullshit. Stop acting like because you nicer than the average officer, that minimalizes the fact that you're complicit to the bullshit going on in your department. And stop playing in the black community's face, acting like dealing with a black police officer is somewhat safer than dealing with a white police officer. Because I'm pretty sure Tyree Nichols would beg to differ. The city of Memphis showed us it doesn't matter if you live in a majority black city ran by majority black people with a majority black police department. You're going to face the same fucking violence, bro.
I'm not a lawyer, but Rodney Hinton Jr., the Cincinnati man who struck and killed the sheriff's deputy the day after his son was shot and killed by police, he had a bond hearing this morning, and it revealed more information about his background, his defense for this case, and what exactly happened on the day of this incident. So let me catch you up. First of all, there was some chaos as Rodney was walking into the hearing, but the video quality is not the best, so just bear with me, but watch and listen to this.
Mr. Bennett, at the prior hearing before today.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Have a seat, sir. Sit down.
That's my brother. Don't.
Was that the defendant's blood brother?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor, no.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Once things calmed down, Rodney was brought back into the courtroom.
Good morning, Mr. Hinton.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And then the hearing actually began. Again, it was a bond hearing, so the state is arguing why Rodney should not be released prior to trial, and to do so, they called the lead investigator of the case to testify about the evidence they have and what they say happened that day. And as reports have said, the story starts with when Rodney was at the police station viewing body cam footage of his son.
He had been coming from 801 Lynn Street,
okay,
which is where the Cincinnati Police Department's Criminal Investigation Section is located.
Okay, and is that abbreviated CIS?
It is. He was at CIS to meet with CPD officials to review body-worn camera footage related to an incident that had occurred the day prior. His son had been shot by a Cincinnati police officer.
Approximately what time did he view that video?
Shortly after 9:30 that morning. So he left the parking lot, I believe, shortly after about 10:30. He went to a couple of different locations and then later returned. 12:40, he returned to our lot.
Were you able to speak to the people or some of the people or family members that he was with when he was at CIS?
They said that he was upset, was agitated, and they were concerned enough about his emotional state that they did not want him driving, which is why the first time that he was there, when he left, He actually left with family members, not driving the car that he had driven to that location.
So just to make sure you're following, Rodney left the police station around 10:30 a.m. after viewing the body cam footage of his son. He had driven to the police station, but he was so distraught that his family members made him leave his car at the station, and then they drove him home. About 2 hours later, so around like 12:30, Rodney comes back to the police station and drives his car alone.
After he came back to pick up the car, he actually left the parking lot, followed by some family members in another car. And then a few minutes later returned to the parking lot, drove through the parking lot, and then left the parking lot again. That was at approximately, I believe, around 12:49 that he left the lot the last time. From there, proceeded up to the Clifton neighborhood.
And where was Deputy Henderson working on this day?
He was engaged in traffic control duties. There were graduations at the University of Cincinnati that day, and so there was a large volume of traffic in the area. He was controlling traffic and assisting pedestrians. He was wearing a sheriff's deputy uniform.
Were you able to retrieve any video from any stationary cameras or mobile cameras?
We had one camera that was a fixed camera. That camera captured them turning from Clifton Avenue onto West Martin Luther King Drive. We also had the opportunity to view camera from a vehicle that was in traffic, and it did capture the incident.
Okay.
From here, the investigator walks through what he says Rodney did after he spotted Sheriff Larry Henderson on that street corner.
He pulled into that center lane, the median, turns into the turn lane, and stopped. There were no other cars in front of him at that point, no obstructions. The vehicle accelerated quickly, crossed into the oncoming lanes of traffic, went to the left through the intersection, directly at where Deputy Henderson was standing. Struck Deputy Henderson and the metal utility pole on the northeast corner of the intersection.
Were there any evidence of skid marks?
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to brake, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson. Deputy Henderson was launched several feet through the air. He came to rest in a turn lane several feet from where the collision occurred.
Was there anyone who was in the car with the defendant?
No, he was the sole occupant of the Ford Focus.
Okay, so is there any doubt that he was the driver and operator of that vehicle at that time?
No, none at all.
Rodney's attorney had the opportunity to do some cross-examination, but before he does, he offers prayers to Rodney's family and the deputy's family.
To offer on behalf of the Hinton family and myself, prayers to the Hinton family, prayers to the family of Larry Henderson, the fallen deputy, and I thank the court for having a fair assembly in the courtroom today. With that, I'd like to ask you a few questions, not a lot, okay? Do you know the mental history of Mr. Hinton?
No, I do not know detailed mental history.
Right. Do you know whether or not he's had any medically documented infirmities or conditions? Do you know that? You don't, do you?
No, I do not.
You also don't know his state of mind at the time of the incident near Burnham Woods and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. You don't know that either, do you? You think he intentionally did it?
And the evidence, yes.
Yeah. Are you familiar with acts of someone that is not in their right mind when they commit a criminal act? You object to that? Okay. You don't know whether or not he was in his right mind at the time that he encountered Deputy Henderson.
I would object again, Your Honor.
Well,
asked and answered a couple times.
It's a different question. Judge, one of the factors with respect to the Ohio Revised Code and detaining a person with no bond is his mental condition. And in making that opinion about whether or not it's intentional, you need to know the mindset or the mens rea of the person that you're claiming intended to do this. Was he in his right mind? That's relevant with respect to your bond determination.
I'll sustain the objection.
I'm not saying that my client didn't try to intend to do this. That's not my position. One more question. You don't know his mindset at the time he shot him, do you?
Like I stated previously, with the facts and circumstances surrounding it, him leaving our office, he was emotionally distraught, and they were concerned about him driving.
No further questions, Judge.
So it's very clear the defense here is insanity. They're not saying Rodney didn't commit this crime. They're saying he was mentally ill, which may also be why when the judge asked if Rodney wanted to say anything, his attorney very clearly said no.
You do recognize that under the statute that the court must allow the defendant to make a statement at this hearing if he wishes.
That is my understanding, and that's a right I don't wish to exercise on behalf of my client. I don't want him to speak.
Is that right, Mr. Hinton? All right, thank you so much.
In closing, the state says that Rodney should be denied bond because he continues to pose a risk to other law enforcement officers, the community, and himself. And they also go over his prior criminal history.
So, Your Honor, in 2017, there was a domestic violence charge where the defendant pled guilty to disorderly conduct. In 2019, there was an assault conviction out of Hamilton County. And then I believe there was an assault conviction out of Middletown from 2023 and an aggravated menacing conviction out of Middletown from that same court. So that's his prior.
Rodney's attorney, on the other hand, emphasizes the need for Rodney's safety and the need for some help with his mental health.
What I would like to do, I want to make certain that this young man is treated as a mentally ill person and not as a cop killer. I don't think he was a cop killer. I think he was not in his right mind. And I think he should be treated like any other mentally ill person that commits a crime under the auspices, control, and authority of a mental defect in a condition. That's what we have in this case. Strong family ties. His family retained me.
So his attorney is not court appointed. They paid for him.
He lives with his significant other and his children. There is a giant mental health issue. And I would ask that whatever bond, whether it's a no bond or monetary bond, I would ask that it be coupled with or inclusive of a requirement that he have mental health treatment. I was physically present with the defendant over the weekend. I think he has mental issues. I think the conduct in question is classic mental illness criminal conduct. It's always intentional, it's bold, and it's conspicuous. No intent to hide what they did because they think that what they're doing is right, and they think that what they're doing is right because they're not in their right frame of mind.
And then the judge makes his ruling.
I cannot recall, either in experience or outside experience, a case that I've ever seen like this. Based upon the state's comments, I find it very difficult to figure out how there could be any decision based on what they said that would protect the public and the defendant under these circumstances. This is a most unusual case.
I don't disagree with you, Judge, with respect to the no bond.
Thank you so much. There will be an order of remand with no bond. Please assure the safety of the defendant and any mental health treatment that can be granted. No bond.
This is a terrible case.
I see a lot of people talking about Rodney HintonJnr's response to his son being shot in his motherfucking back and unalived by those cops who lied on the report. If you don't think like that man, if you wouldn't do what that man did, you shouldn't even have a motherfucking child. Because I'll be damned as a mother if I carry my son, the only baby I got, for 9 months, and got him to adulthood, and in a couple of motherfucking seconds you think you're gonna take him away from me like you gave him life, I will end your whole motherfucking existence. I'm going out like Queen Latifah on Set It Off in that motherfucker. Y'all can kill me right then and there. As long as I get a couple of y'all, as long as y'all kids go without their father, as long as y'all motherfucking wife don't have a husband, as long as I make somebody a widow, as long as I take somebody's son from them, and they gotta outlive their motherfucking kids, fuck it. We ain't even gotta go to court. Take me right then and there. Black people are fucking tired of y'all being so fucking comfortable to fucking play fucking executioner on the streets. If he stole a motherfucking car, if he in the car, take him to jail. Y'all get these motherfuckers that shoot up schools, kill people in churches, open up motherfucking windows all the way on the fucking airplane, all the way in the sky. Y'all managed to get them to the motherfucking courtroom. But when it's us, y'all think we fucking target practice. So I hope this sent the motherfucking message. And I hope a lot of motherfucking parents and men get in line. Stop being docile and complicit to this shit. We don't need Al Sharpton. We don't need no motherfucking prayer. Eye for an eye. Life for a life. Body for a body. Funeral for funeral. Keep the shit up. Stop fucking playing with us. Black people are tired of this motherfucking corrupt justice system. My bad. Black people are fucking tired of these police who think they just gonna keep coming and unaliving us and we just not gonna do shit about it. We tired of crying. Now it's time to put some motherfucking action out there. Let's go. Send a motherfucking message. Cause y'all not tough, half of y'all, when y'all got them guns on. Y'all think cause y'all got a gun and a badge that you can't go out the same way? Cause you can. I'm telling you, I got one baby. And if a motherfucker think they gonna take him from me, I'm finna turn some motherfuckers into widows. I'm finna turn a motherfucking 2-parent household to a single mama household. Your mama about to outlive you for the rest of her days because she finna put somebody getting put in the dirt. Fuck it. We tired. And we told y'all. And you didn't want to listen. So now this is what it's come to. I hope this sends a message to everybody. Because we fed up.
You know what doesn't get enough police attention in the United States? School unalivings. When children are being or have been unalived, you will never see as much police presence as you have seen in the courtroom hearing for Rodney Hinton. There's a robbery or an assault in progress somewhere, a kidnapping, and in Ohio, where folks are missing en masse, could use both police resources and their presence. But no. And another thing that I find quite interesting is that while all eyes and press are on Rodney Hinton, they still have yet to release the identity of the police officer that unalived his son Ryan. While the case of Rodney Hinton is being plastered all over everywhere, who unalived Ryan? Because that's how we all got here. And per usual, they'll probably pull out all the stops and try to pull out prior records of Rodney Hinton or any way to try to make this black man, this black father, more menacing. And we don't care about none of that. Who unalived that man's 18-year-old son? And when are they going to be in court?
Pay attention to how them deputies responded to Rodney's brother today. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch the video, watch that clip, and I want y'all to pay close attention to how that man's brother stood up for his brother in front of all of their ass, and pay attention to how they responded soon as he stood up and said what he said. Pay close attention. And I'm saying pay close attention because, you know, you have people on here that's trying to say, oh, well, the police, they always do that. Whenever something like this happens, they show up in the courtroom. They always do that, trying to minimize the situation and make it seem as if we are dumb enough to believe that that was not an intimidation tactic that y'all tried to use in that pre-hearing. Let's be for real. And if you're trying to say that it wasn't, then why is it that when that man's brother stood up, all of them other deputies and police jumped up as if he had a whole army with him? It was only him. It was only him in the front of that room. And he said, I'm here for my brother. I want to see my brother. He said, I want my brother to see me. Look at how all of them responded. He's one man. He was there to support his brother. And he stood up in front of all of y'all asses and said that. And y'all wasn't going to just shake him or scare him or move him, just like his brother. I loved every bit of that. But again, the lesson that I think a lot of people are forgetting here is it's obvious they will always try to minimize and dismiss some shit to make us feel like we crazy. It's clear as day that what they did in that pre-hearing was an intimidation tactic. It did not work, and y'all were in y'all feelings behind that. The same way you can tell y'all in y'all feelings because look how y'all responded to his damn brother jumping up and saying that he left his brother. He's only one goddamn man. And all y'all gotta jump and surround him and then force him out. That's one man. Why can't he be there to support his brother? If police and deputies do this anytime something happen, y'all always there to support one of y'all. Why can't he be there to support his brother? Y'all there to support y'all people? If all 25 of them can be there to support their fellow deputy, why can't that one man be there to support his brother? He's not starting no trouble. He ain't giving nobody no trouble. But it's the fact that y'all try to gaslight that man. Y'all try to use tactics that y'all know we not going for. Because you know you're not going to be able to bully us. You know you're not going to be able to just handle us like that. As if we not bright enough to understand what's going on in the games that's being played here. If y'all are there to support y'all fellow officer, why can't that man's family be there to support him? Why? Y'all know why. Y'all know what y'all are trying to do. We know what y'all are trying to do. And I'm glad that that man has family and support. And I'm glad that his loved ones are there to stand up and represent for him because we see what y'all trying to do. And it's not going to work. So y'all might as well just stop. It's not going to work. Y'all don't scare nobody. I think that's what y'all are missing. Who the fuck y'all think y'all scared? Y'all don't scare no goddamn body. It's like y'all want us to be just so easily moved and shook up just off of y'all presence. Y'all presence do not scare no damn body. Like, y'all don't move nobody like that. I don't know who lied to y'all. I don't know who told y'all in school or wherever y'all get this from. But baby, y'all don't put fear in our pinky toes. Like, get over that. I'm not even gonna lie. If you watch that clip and see how his brother responds, it's clear as day that they was raised by a strong ass black woman. You could tell their parents was not to be toyed with. You can tell that their parents meant business. You can just tell because the way that his brother is responding is damn near the exact same way, same energy that Rodney Hinton Jr. has. It's on them, on both of them. You can tell they are not to be moved. Like you can tell. You can tell. They don't shy away from it. They not timid, baby. Their presence is loud. Just like Rodney Hinton Jr. presence is loud without him even saying something. His brother's presence speak volume as well. And he barely said something. All he said was he there to support his brother. And all y'all rose up like Godzilla jumped out of something. That presence that speak volume like that, I don't care what nobody say. Those are the type of black men that are needed in this world. Let's please make sure that we are raising strong, stand-up gentlemen. Not unalivers, not robbers, not gangbangers. I'm not saying none of that. But stand-up individuals. Black men that are not afraid to be the only motherfucker in the room and still stand 10 toes and will not be moved. That's what I mean. Fathers as well, make sure that y'all are helping the mothers raise stand-up, respectable men of character, integrity, strength, and the ability to hold their own and not be moved or easily intimidated by no motherfucker, especially not none of them. Point blank period. If you ain't seen that video, go watch that video. Go watch the video. Go watch the video. Go.
Hey, so I saw the body cam footage of Ryan's unaliving by the police. I watched it 3 times, frame by frame, to make sure I wasn't tripping. And yeah, that officer unjustly unalived him. He didn't have to unalive that boy. He could have popped him in the leg. He could have popped him in the shoulder. He didn't have to unalive him. And he knows it. He knows it. He knows it. I watched it. Even if that young man did have a pew-pew on him, he wasn't facing it towards nobody. He didn't face it towards that officer. I watched it frame by frame, bro. On my phone and on the computer. Make sure I was not tweaking. That boy was innocently unalived. Just because a black boy may have a weapon on him doesn't mean a grown man with freaking training should be unaliving him thinking he's judge, jury, and executioner. He's not Batman. He's a police officer. The officer could have went about it a different way and chose not to because he just wanted a black body on his record. So I understand exactly why the father did what he did. And to be honest, I wish the father would have took all of them out.
Hinton, I wasn't going to speak on it, but I'm going to speak on it. You probably would have never heard about Ron Hinton and what that police did to him in the back of him running if you didn't hear about his father running over a police officer. All right? The fact of the matter is that the value of a white life is far more important than the value of a black life in the United States of America. It's been proven over and over and over and over again. Check out Off YtePp. The only reason you heard public outcry the way you did about that incident is because the one that was unalive was a white boy. And you can see that proven with Case and Allison, same state, just now went to trial. His charge was reduced and he poked a little brown boy 5 times in a school, reduced to a smaller charge with a penalty of 2 years, maximum 10 years. Where's the public outcry? Where's all the people in your comments say he shouldn't bring a poker to the school? Where is it? It ain't there. Because the value of a black or brown life is far more less than the value of a white life. That's why you hear in public cry about Ryan Hinton. Because it was a white life. And then you have a nerve to turn around to try to start a White Lives Matter movement as if the United States and America needs to know that. They already know. All right? The value of a black or brown life is far less important than the life of a white life. Go down in the comment, prove me wrong.
What Rodney Hinton did was amazing, and I love the fact that he ran over a random deputy and not the deputy that took his son's life, because now it's going to build accountability. When pigs sit back and see somebody do something horrible to a random person, it's going to make them now second guess, okay, how could this affect my life if they take this person's life? And we need that type of accountability, and we need more aggressive action like this, because the peaceful protest hasn't worked in my lifetime. They laugh at it, they record it, they agitate us to make it worse. they just come bother us because it doesn't work. They think it's a joke. But when you start affecting people and taking lives, then it makes them scared. It makes them second guess things, like with this Rodney Hinton situation, like with the guy that unalived the healthcare CEO. You just have to attack them. I don't know how long they expect oppressed people just to sit and just, okay, hopefully we can get this law passed. Hopefully this president cares about us. Hopefully this congressman cares about us. It doesn't work. Oppressed people are always told to be peaceful, while the oppressors are the most aggressive, bullying, hateful people in the world. So shout out to Rodney Hinton. Thank you.
You see that guy? He's being eyeballed by these dumb cops because he killed a cop because that cop unalived his son. And this guy says, I don't care, I'm going to jail, but I did what I had to do, an eye for an eye. You imagine that? I would do the same thing. This guy gets a thumbs up in my book. Yep. Especially those cops that are trying to intimidate him. Fuck those cops.
Rodney Hinton, y'all wasting y'all time. I'm telling you, this man literally ran over a police sheriff's deputy after he was accused of unaliving his son the day before in a routine traffic stop. Yes, everybody's in on it. Everybody wants to know what happened. But this man had to go into trial with 30 deputies trying to stare him down and intimidate him. This man had no remorse. The day before, y'all unalived his son in a police shooting, okay? And then y'all want to try to intimidate this man after losing his son because he ran over one of yours? How do you think he feels? I'm just asking. He lost his son. He is a father. Yeah, you lost a brother in arms, but he don't care. He is ready to take on every one of y'all deputies. He did. He's ready to serve his time. He's ready to roll. Y'all ain't intimidating him. He's ready to make his peace with what he done. I'm just saying.
Silent rage, silent anger. That rage you can't see. That rage that doesn't yell. That rage is just rage. I've always said this. If a person can talk and yell at you, you're probably safe. But when you see Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. in that courtroom, and when I tell you, that silent rage, and you know, people mistake black Americans sitting out. People mistake that black Americans sitting out doing line dances and stuff. That's a dangerous thing. When I tell you, that's a dangerous thing. And this happened with more than just black Americans months ago. Yeah, this happened with Luigi. Silent, never been in trouble. Just like Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. Silent rage. That's some serious stuff. The laws of this country and what's going on in this country pushing things to the brink. People can say it started with a stolen car. People can say, oh, this. No, it didn't start there. It didn't start there at all. It doesn't start on the streets. It didn't start on the streets when Luigi did it. It didn't start on the streets when Mr. Hinton did it. It started right with the lawmakers and the rich folk who are always putting too much pressure on everybody else for decades and decades. And when that pressure has nowhere else to go, it points back to set itself free. It's a dangerous game.
Oh, the cop he got wasn't even the one that killed his son. Good. Because when that cop seen his son, he didn't know that was Rodney Hinton Jr. He saw a nigga. So when we see a cop, we on that same shit. Y'all worry about spending on y'all ops and shit, man. Spend on them niggas. They up something crazy. Spend on that shit. And respectfully, I don't want to hear shit about no policy or no politicking, because what's going to stop the next cop from doing that shit or make that motherfucker take a second thought? Ain't going to be no goddamn policy. They don't give a fuck, bruh. They run the system. But they don't run these streets. I don't give a fuck what they say. How many cop cars they got out here, they don't run that shit. You know what I'm saying? But what Rodney Hinton did, that's going to make the next cop think, damn, is somebody going to spin about this young nigga? We fighting too much shit at one time, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's up and it's stuck for them niggas from around the way. They know what it is. But it's some other motherfuckers that's got to be handled. You know what I'm saying? After that, niggas can settle up and do what they do. But this shit right here, this shit gotta end. They say an eye for an eye and the world go blind. And I say, what's to stop that motherfucker from taking the other one when everything you see as yours, he sees as mine?
Rodney Hinton Jr. understands something that many of you don't seem to get, so let me help you out. Police reform is not going to happen because it's too dangerous to be black in America. But it might happen if it becomes too dangerous to be white in America. And that's because we operate under a system of white supremacy.
Pinch me and fart on my leg, but what you're not going to do is tell me that this wasn't an organized gang that was allowed to do a demonstration in a U.S. courtroom. And you can tell me that the sky is purple or green, but what you're not going to tell me is that this wasn't a move of white supremacy at its best. Then the amount of hate that was ushered in by so-called government officials is a mark of shame on our country. Embarrassing. And I know many are going to say, they were there to support, they were there to support. You can support without giving somebody a death stare. And I'm pretty sure in the back of their mind, they feel like they're doing something righteously. But what they don't realize is those death stares only proves what people of color have been feeling forever coming from you all. And for that reason, we stand with this father. Until you guys really truly get it, stuff like this is going to continue to happen, but we're going to stand with ours.
Here are my quick thoughts on the Ryan Hinton and Rodney Hinton Jr. case out of Cincinnati. So for those of you who don't know the backstory, Ryan Hinton, who's the son of Rodney Hinton Jr., was in a car that police believed to be stolen. When the police stopped the car or tried to apprehend the people in the car, they started running. And one of the officers fatally shot and unalived Ryan Hinton Jr. because he said that he believed that he had a gun and that the gun was pointing at him. Now, ironically enough, in the body cam footage, you can't see whether or not Ryan was holding a gun, which seems to be the new thing that happens way too often. But an officer started screaming out, he's got a gun, and then fired shots at him, causing him to be unalived. Now, when Rodney Hinton Jr. saw the body cam footage, his family was saying that he was so distraught that they didn't even want him to drive home, and they had to drive him home. Later that day, I guess he must have gotten access to his vehicle, and he struck a deputy officer or sheriff, one of those, who was on duty directing traffic. Now, let me just clarify. I am in no way defending him unaliving the deputy sheriff, who I don't think had anything to do with the unaliving of his son. However, I will say that this is what happens when a system is broken. When you don't trust the system to do what the system is supposed to do, which is hold somebody accountable for unaliving your son, it may cause you to do things that you might not have done had you had trust in the system. There has been a history in our country of police officers unaliving young black men and not being held accountable for it at all. When that level of trauma is being built up and that is all you see, it forces people to take justice into their own hands. And sometimes that means that they are focused on getting back at the system rather than the person who directly impacted the person that they love. I will also say that Rodney Hinton Jr.'s lawyer is trying to go with the case of insanity, which I can really see a case for. He saw body cam footage of his son being unalive when they said he had a gun and there's no gun seen in the body cam footage. I think we could all agree that that would cause any parent to lose their mind. And the last thing I want to say is I saw a clip of the bond hearing that they had for Rodney Hinton Jr. And Rodney Hinton Jr.'s brother or friend, whoever it was, simply walked up to the glass to say hello to Rodney Hinton Jr. And about 15 to 20 police got up and swarmed him when he was posing absolutely no threat. And even after he identified who he was, they still very aggressively removed him from the courtroom. 15 to 20 officers versus him. Now, the reason that I'm sharing that is because if you all are that aggressive with one person who shows no threat or sign of danger, I can only imagine what you all do in the community day in and day out. That leads me to believe that there is a history of trauma for the folks in that community with police officers. Now, again, I'm not defending the life of the deputy sheriff being taken at all. But what I am saying is when a system is broken and people are relying on that system to be the act of justice, and that doesn't happen, people are going to take action into their own hands.
We are living in times where they are trying to get police immunity. So Rodney Hinton, I'm not going to say you're right or wrong. It's really sad that it has to get to this, but we know that by this administration trying to give cops immunity, they even had an executive order maybe like a week ago, less than a week ago, so that when cops do unalive people, they can get top lawyers. While we know that black men are unalived by cops unproportionately. So we're supposed to wait on the justice system when we know that there will be no justice? I get it. The kid shouldn't have been in a stolen car, but cops are supposed to be trained to de-escalate these kind of situations. And then they always lie and say that they think somebody had a weapon when the body cam footage does not show that this boy had a weapon. It's just the lies to cover their tracks. And then all of them officers in the dang on court, that is intimidation. But baby, I love that he held his head high. Because who y'all scaring? He did what he did and he looked like he'll do it again. As a mother, I'ma just say I feel for him. All the way.
Rodney Hinton Jr. may possibly walk after this new information. So everybody is saying that his son stole that car. People, his son did not steal that car. That was not a stolen car. That was actually his car that he missed a payment on. And the dealership located the car by GPS. So the cop killed this young boy alleging that he stole a car. He didn't steal the car. So now I'm just trying to figure out, what does half of the human race have to say about that? Because you all are so gung-ho that this little boy that went out there here and stole a car and was joyriding and fell asleep behind the wheel, that is not the case. And that police officer shot that boy for nothing, which caused his father to lose his mind and kill somebody else. Yeah, he getting off.
You can take this however you will. As a parent, I can't even begin to imagine the pain that Rodney Hinton feels. But as a mother, I absolutely understand it. And when the police shot his son Ryan 5 times, they didn't just take a life. They took his entire world. And when you lose your whole world, what exactly do you have left to lose? Nothing. Yes, the speculation that his son may have had a gun, but the body camera footage that I watched never showed him pointing that gun at anyone. Yes, I saw him running away, but if anything, he was shot from behind 5 times. Having a gun, running from the police, even being in a stolen car, none of that justified being shot at like that. There are other ways to apprehend someone. I've seen them do it without shooting the person who also has a gun. There are other ways to de-escalate the situation. I've seen them do it with someone who has a gun. But time and time again, when it comes to black youth, the police choose deadly force. And as Rodney stood there in that courtroom for his bail hearing, surrounded by the officers trying to intimidate him in the handcuffs with the weight of his grief on his shoulder, the rage and the silence, it spoke volumes. Because when your child is gunned down by the police, justice then becomes personal. And for black families, it's a story that repeats itself over and over and over and over again. No one knows what situation their child might end up in. Young people make mistakes. That's a part of growing up. But no mistake should ever be met with 5 bullets. Every parent wants their child to come home at the end of the day. That is not too much to ask. Rodney's son, Ryan, did not come home at the end of the day. And there's a quote that I'm sure many people know, which is the most dangerous person is one who has nothing left to lose. And it's basically saying that when someone has lost everything, their family, their freedom, hope, a sense of purpose, they no longer fear any consequences at all, making them extremely unpredictable and often fearless in the face of authority or danger. And so in my heart, I truly believe that that's where Rodney's pain sits, is that he had nothing left to lose, and that at this point he was not fearful of anything or anyone or any consequence because he had already lost everything.
Rodney Hinton Jr.'s dad is why I try to explain to people, especially like the law-abiding citizen type, that they are wrong. There are cases multiple cases, especially in the case of a father who actually saw video of how his son passed, who heard a story that was proven false, and then saw the proof, where the only justifiable action is as such. And I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, gay, straight. I don't care if you're alien. There is a such thing as a justifiable crash out. This is one of those things. And the unfortunate reality is, in a case like this, look, they're not going to tell you the name of the person who actually did it, right? You're not going to be able to get your hands on that person. So you know what's going to happen now? In order for you to even live with yourself, you got to get somebody. The evil world we live in. But as a man, it's some stuff. It's some stuff, bro.
For people saying that the difference between and therefore the reason why they support Luigi Mangione but not Rodney Hinton Jr. is because Luigi Mangione hit his intended mark, whereas Rodney Hinton Jr. hit an officer who was not the one who shot his son, that is a fairly hollow difference because Luigi Mangione was not insured by United Healthcare. Whatever may have gone on with his back surgery years before had nothing to do with United Healthcare. Thompson had caused Mangione no direct personal harm, but the reason why Mangione picked Thompson as his mark is because he is symbolic of and part of a harmful system, similar to what Rodney Hinton Jr. did. However, a significant difference between the two of them is that Rodney Hinton Jr., a father, had just been shown a video of his son being killed. So if you support Luigi Mangione, but you do not support Rodney Hinton Jr., please take as much time as you need to deconstruct why. And I would suggest starting with the recognition that it's probably because Luigi Mangione's mark is also your mark, because the harm that he has experienced is a harm that you also experience. Whereas Rodney Hinton Jr.'s mark is not also your mark, because the harm that he and his family and his community have experienced is not a harm that you experience.
Rodney Hinton brother is a Black Panther.
My brother got to see me. They did this shit before. They did this shit before. They did it before. I got Dito and them messing with my brother and me before. I ain't do nothing. I just want to.
BLKPp giants are waking up. I don't even know how to feel right now because after watching that video and hearing his brother, GoFundMe has been blocked and canceled. So if you have donated, y'all, we need to find out another source of donating money. The CEO of GoFundMe made an announcement today, and I saw it on the news. Rodney's money that go on his books, he is at a limit of $200. He only can receive $200 within 14 days. Keep that in mind if you're trying to put money on his books.
I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section. I watched all of this in disbelief, in pain, because I mean, put yourself in the shoes of this father. He ain't perfect, and nobody is perfect, right? And you look at the criminal record and everything they had to retrieve and bring out just to make sure that they portray him as a menace. They portray him as a criminal, as a person that is not fit to be in the society. We have seen quite a number of palm-colored people that have a lot of criminal offenses and stuff, and they're given grace in cases like this. But it's not so when it comes to a black man. I'm not trying to make these things about race, but you know you can't avoid going there because that's what it is, right? The whole society in the West, or US to be specific, everything rotates around race. We've seen quite a number of palm-colored people that have done quite things that are unexplainable, that you can't say. You wonder how would a person even do that, right? Without any reason. They go and choose to shoot an entire school because their mental health is not stable. Because they are not stable, they always want to take down everyone with them, right? But this is not the case of this father. This is a grieving father that is in pain, right? And he knows for sure they have actually planted fake evidence that the son really had a pew-pew when in actual sense he didn't have it. The footage shows, the footage that he looked at, and even one of the brothers that was commenting the footage he also looked at, the son was trying to run away. This is a father that is upset that in this entire situation he's lost a son, but these people are not even willing to take accountability. What showed evidence of them even giving him justice if they could even lie from the beginning of this? So this is a father that is grieving and is trying his best just to really take the pain away. And that wasn't the right thing, because that is the reason as to why he's even in the position that he's in. But also considering the history of Black people and how they never get justice. Black people looks like they're tired of begging for justice. They're tired of begging for it. And they are taking it. When you go through these things for your entire life, sometimes you look at everything you have and you have lost all. And there's a saying that the most dangerous man to deal with is a man that has nothing to lose anymore, because they can go down with you. And I think this should be a lesson to the police, that don't keep and continue taking people's lives and you think everything is going to be well. People will come for you, just like the CEO, that CEO that was taken down as well, right? But also the history of Cincinnati, isn't that the same place where the neo-skulls, whatever guys, came and they were trying to, spew racist rants at Black people, and Black people had to literally kick them out of the town? Let's not forget that actually these people were backed up by the police. They had protection from the police. How ridiculous is that? Like, seriously, this is the same town where this this man's son's life was taken. And I think it shows you the history of how everything is like. So as much as people be like, it's not racial, Black people are not criminals simply because they were really revenging. I think these people should put Black people on the same weighing scale that they put palm-colored people. If not, then these things are going to continue happening. But anywho, I want you guys to let me know what you think. Condolences to the father that lost the son. Man, hopefully something gets done that he doesn't have to be judged as the worst criminal ever, because we have a lot of palm-colored people that are doing the most and they don't go through half or quarter of what Black people are taken through when they act in revenge. But if you don't give Black people justice, I think this is a sign that they will risk it all. And while they risk it all, let's not forget that there's a father, there's a son, there's a mother, or someone that will lose someone. So for you to keep your people safe, keep Black people safe and treat them as you treat your own. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. I think from me for today, that's it. Yeah, I'll see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Chrissy and I love all of you. Bye.